Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something truly fascinating. We're looking at how ancient, highly complex Buddhist sutras can actually be used as a practical daily framework for our modern lives. Specifically, we're going to be focusing heavily on the brilliant commentary and lecture notes of teacher Lin-Ming Shang. He has this absolutely incredible ability to take incredibly dense spiritual texts and, well, translate their wisdom into something you can actually use right now, today, no matter how crazy busy your life is.
Okay, let's dive into this with a quote you probably wouldn't expect to see in an explainer about ancient Buddhism. Teacher Lin actually describes the practice of reciting the Buddha's name as the quantum linguistic programming method meticulously designed by Amitabha World-Honored One. I love this. It just instantly grabs your attention. He's using 21st century, highly technical terminology to describe an ancient spiritual practice. It completely reframes how we look at these teachings, not as archaic rituals, but as advanced, almost scientific systems for reprogramming the human mind. To get a full picture of how this system works, here is our roadmap for today. 1. Meeting the Tathagata. 2. The difficult and easy paths. 3. Mindfulness in front. And finally, 4. Response to recitation. Let's start with Section 1, Meeting the Tathagata, and see exactly how Teacher Lin decodes this spiritual code.
Now, if you've ever tried reading original Buddhist texts like the Lankavatara or the Diamond Sutras, you already know they can be incredibly profound, but also kind of overwhelming. Take this famous line right here from the Diamond Sutra. If one sees all forms as non-forms, then one sees the Tathagata. It's beautiful, right? But for a modern person dealing with a packed commute, endless notifications, and just a massively heavy inbox, it poses a real problem. How do we actually grasp this? What does it practically mean for us on a Tuesday afternoon?
And this is exactly where teacher Lin-Ming Shang's genius really shines. In his notes, he takes the abstract, deeply mystical concept of the Tathagata, which refers to the ultimate reality of the Buddha, and just breaks it right down. Drawing on the words of Chan Master Linji, Teacher Lin interprets Tathagata simply as solitary brightness. It's an unmoving, clear awareness that perfectly discerns all the myriad phenomena of life the exact moment you encounter them. Suddenly, it's not some far-off mystical deity. It's a distinct, focused concept of clear, solitary brightness that you can access right in your own mind. It just makes the whole thing instantly more accessible.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, the difficult and easy paths, exploring two very different routes to spiritual enlightenment.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark, practical contrast Teacher Lin outlines for us. On one side, we have the difficult path. This involves rigorously transforming your consciousness into wisdom, attaining profound states of samadhi, and frankly, the texts say it literally takes eons to complete. It's a steep, actually scratch that, it's a towering climb. But on the other side, we have the easy path. Taught by Nagarjuna, this path relies entirely on Amitabha's vow. It's simply about taking refuge in reciting the Buddha's name. It's basically the difference between scaling a sheer cliff face with your bare hands versus taking a secure, well-paved, grounded pathway.
And let me tell you, when you find that grounded pathway, the relief is totally palpable. Take this quote from the monk Shi Sangxian. "From now on, my mindfulness has a refuge." Teacher Lin provides this incredibly beautiful piece of commentary on this. He says this phrase acts as a calming needle of the sea. Just think about that imagery for a second. In the chaotic noise and relentless ways of modern life, having this single focused practice means a practitioner never loses their direction. You're anchored.
So, how do we actually drop that anchor? Let's check that out in Section 3, Mindfulness in Front, anchoring our practice in reality.
So Teacher Lin takes this easy path and applies it straight to the hustle and bustle of our daily routines. The core practice he recommends here is called keeping mindfulness in front. But let's break those terms down real quick. In his lecture, he explains that mindfulness means actively taking refuge, meaning reciting the name. And front? Well, that means the six dusts, which is Buddhist terminology for our everyday sensory experiences: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and thought. Basically, what he's saying is that your everyday environment isn't a distraction from your practice, it literally becomes the actual training ground itself.
Let's see how this builds into a highly practical system. Teacher Lin's notes actually provide specific triggers for this mindfulness. When you hear audio triggers, sounds rising and falling around you, that's a reminder to recite. What about visual triggers? Pedestrians, cars, motorcycles, towering buildings? Instead of seeing all of this as annoying urban clutter, Lin says they actually assist your recitation practice. Every single car that passes you on the street is a cue. And then, of course, there are the mental triggers, those deluded thoughts and past habitual tendencies that inevitably pop up throughout the day.
Speaking of mental triggers, I really want to highlight a highly relatable, kind of hilarious metaphor from Teacher Lin's lecture here. He compares our intrusive, deluded thoughts to scam calls or spam messages intruding on our pure awareness. We all know exactly how annoying a scam call is, right? You don't engage with it, you don't argue with the robot on the other end, you just recognize it and hang up. Teacher Lin says when these mental scam calls ring in your head, just recognize them, hang up, and let that prompt an immediate, unbroken return to reciting the Buddha's name. It's such a brilliant modern way to handle ancient mental traps.
All right, let's head into our final section, response to recitation. We've talked about the theory, but let's look at the proof with the story of Mr. Ma.
To provide some real-world context for Teacher Lin's explanations, the source material introduces a deeply moving case study from Tianjin. So here's the background on Mr. Ma. He's described as an honest, simple bicycle repairman who was unfortunately diagnosed with late-stage cancer. He and his family were facing extreme poverty and the terrifying prospect of immense physical suffering. It's a really heavy, deeply challenging situation that sets the stage for a crucial decision.
So, Mr. Ma's wife reached out to a pharmacist named Fosi for advice on whether they should pursue hospitalization. And Fosi gave them this incredibly profound piece of advice. For minor illnesses, seek doctors. For major illnesses, seek rebirth. Considering their financial reality and the terminal nature of his illness, she advised them to seek spiritual refuge rather than painful and likely futile medical interventions. This radically shifted Mr. Ma and his wife toward the easy path, relying completely on Amitabha's deliverance.
The pacing of what happened next is just, wow, it's truly remarkable. Let's just track Mr. Ma's journey calmly for a second. Day 0 was his cancer diagnosis. By day 5, after speaking with an elder practitioner, he fully committed to the Pure Land path. For the next 3 months, he engaged in nothing but single-minded recitation. Then, in month 4, he calmly announced he would pass away the next morning at exactly 8 a.m. He woke up, washed, sat up, insisting he wasn't tired at all, by the way, and just recited the name until his breathing gently stopped right at his predicted time of 8 a.m.
So the absolutely crucial point Teacher Lin highlights in his notes is what happened physically after his passing. The texts point to incredible physical proof of his peaceful transition. Despite having late-stage cancer, he experienced zero pain or suffering in his final hours. His countenance was remarkably serene and peaceful, and his body remained soft and supple after he passed. This is a massive, dramatic contrast to the horrific suffering and physical rigidity that we usually associate with late-stage terminal cancer. Which brings our narrative full circle, right back to Teacher Lin's core message. Think about it. Mr. Ma had absolutely no deep sutra study. He underwent no formal refuge ceremony. He engaged in no other esoteric practices. It was just honest, focused recitation. He achieved exactly what those highly complex, dense sutras described simply by sincerely walking the easy path. He proved that the highest spiritual goals aren't just for scholars. They are totally accessible to a simple bicycle repairman with a focused mind. So, I'm going to leave you with a thought to ponder. Teacher Lin Mingxiang's notes have shown us how profound ancient wisdom can be distilled into the simplest of practices, using the sheer chaos of our modern world as the very trigger for peace. So my question to you is this: in the noise of modern life, with all those scam calls ringing in your mind, where does your mindfulness find its refuge? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some curiosity about the true power of your own focus. Catch you next time.